It's read aloud time, and Daniel chose our story for today. It's called G-Rex by Terry Daniels, illustrated by Tracy Campbell Pearson. Way to go, Daniel. We're getting your reward. There's our title page, G-Rex. There's our dedication page. A big brother was big trouble for Gregory. Mark slept in the best bed. He rode up front in the car. He filled the sofa, hogged the remote, and picked all the TV shows. Gregory was smaller and second in line, and that stunk. One afternoon, Mom stepped out to run errands, leaving Mark in charge as usual. "You stinky stegosaurus," hollered Gregory. "Get off my head!" Gregory scrunched his eyes shut. The carpet felt scratchy, and he didn't want to cry. "Say you're sorry for hitting," Mark warned. "Why should I?" whined Gregory. Mark tightened his grip. "I'm twice your age and twice your size, that's why." Mom got home in the nick of time. "Stop the fighting," she scolded. "It's his fault," cried Gregory, wiping his nose. "He won't let me play basketball. The hoop is too high. He throws wild," Mark explained. "If I lift him up, he gets mad." Gregory rubbed his cheek. It was bumpy from the carpet, and there was fuzz in his nose. "I'll score a basket myself," he thought. "I'll score when I get big." That night, Mom served steak, Mark's favorite. Gregory pictured hooves on it. If only the meat would jump off his plate and run back to the butcher. Mom bit into a piece. "Delicious," she said, smiling. "Have some," said Dad. "Don't you want to get big like Mark?" Gregory clenched his fork. He didn't want to get big like Mark. He wanted to get bigger. Gregory began to chew. His small mouth tingled. Ping, pong, pop! His baby teeth bulged from his gums. The harder he chewed, the sharper they got. Gregory picked up the rest of his steak. He shredded the meat easily. Rum, scrum, rum, scrum, rum, yum. Then he lifted his dish, licked it clean, and gulped that down too. Uh-oh. "More meat," howled Gregory, who grew bigger and taller while the table beneath him seemed shorter and smaller. "How is this?" asked Mom in a tiny voice from below. She held up a bite on her fork. "More," he roared. "But that's the end of the steak," said Dad. "Okay," said Gregory. No meat, no matter. I eat brother." Mom and Dad tore through the freezer. Burgers and wieners soared through the air. Gregory chomped on the rock-solid meat, savoring each icy bite. Still, it wasn't enough. "I am G-Rex," stormed Gregory, pounding his chest. "Powerful meat-eating dinosaur. Get more meat or I eat Mark." Dad grabbed the car keys. Mom snatched her purse, and they sped down the road to buy more. "Ooh," crooned Gregory. "G-Rex, see so good?" The pot roast palace sparkled in the distance. It filled the street with the scent of simmering meat. "Pot roast dinner time," Gregory bellowed. "You finished your dinner," Dad reminded him. "2 of them." "No meat, no matter," said Gregory, dreaming of a Big Brother sandwich. The rumble of his stomach made the little car lurch. Gregory peered into the drive-through window of the restaurant. Pot roast drippings perfumed the air. "Meat!" he roared at the fast food servers. "Feed G-Rex now!" They hurled bucket after bucket of meat his way. Then one by one they fainted. His dinosaur teeth were terrifying, but his breath was even scarier. "Grr, rawr, rawr." Gregory ate in all the best places. When he was full at last, the family headed for home. "Tiny Mark, sleep in the tub," said Gregory, eyes twinkling. "G-Rex gets 2 beds." "No fair," cried Mark. "Sleep in your own." Gregory stayed up all night. He did not want to have to go to sleep. Not ever. At breakfast, Gregory wrestled Mark for a thin strip of bacon. More meat, he roared. So they fed him. More fun, he sang. So they let him take shots at the hoop. Swish, slam, dunk. Gregory was still throwing wild. As the week passed, Mom and Dad grew weary of his shouting. Mark got stiff from the tub, and all the restaurants ran out of meat. Careworn and cross, Gregory's family dropped in on Aunt Fanny next door. "Gar, rar, rar," Gregory roared through the empty rooms, but roaring alone was no fun. As the day dragged on, he could barely manage a grunt. Gregory looked through the bedroom window. He watched Mark bounce a ball to Aunt Fanny. Thunk, 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 thunk. "Up for an Aunt Fanny dunk?" she asked. Mark held her up to the metal rim, and she slam dunked the big orange ball. "You're almost as light as Gregory," he said. "Whee!" squealed Aunt Fanny. "Do it again!" Gregory's tail drooped. They were having fun without him. "No Mark to play with," Gregory wailed. He slammed his fist and thumped his tail. Bum, bum, bum. The walls shook, the shelves trembled, and whoosh! Mark's best basketball trophy went crashing to the floor. The plastic figure was in pieces. Gregory tried to fix it, but his dinosaur hands were too big for small things. "Mark's best trophy," he said, shedding dinosaur tears. One drop tumbled to his feet. Pop, nop, nip. Gregory's teeth prickled. His big body shriveled, and his long tail disappeared. Small Gregory was back on the fuzzy carpet. "You broke my very best one," yelled Mark in his biggest voice of all. "I didn't mean to," cried Gregory. "Can we fix it?" Mark studied the parts. "Can you hold them a while I glue?" Gregory nodded. His small hands could hold small things. Thunk, thunk, thunk. The ball felt heavy in Gregory's hands, and the hoop seemed higher than last time. "Clutch the ball, bend your knees, and toss," said Mark. Gregory tossed again and again. Just when he thought he could toss no more, swish! The basketball slid through the hoop. "Score!" shouted Gregory. "Let's play more." Mark's eyes widened. "Up for a little brother dunk?" "Way up," said Gregory, racing for the ball. Mark and Gregory played until dark. A big brother could be big fun. I hope you enjoyed that story and keep up the great work, Daniel. Great job getting your 5 stars.